Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondy Blue. We getting these videos out the night. 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 All right, I'm sorry. Okay, need a little buck up right quick. Okay, so y'all married to medicine. Let's go ahead and get into it. Everyone is meeting in the lobby. All right, everybody's like lackadaisically coming downstairs so we can go on whatever excursion, trip, activity we doing for the day while we're out here in Mexico. All right, Toya brings up how the men all went to the strip club, and she says that none of them strippers have the amount of booty that Toya has. Okay, then she got up and showed us in the confessional, and Eugene was like, would you sit your ass down? Like, what's wrong with you showing everybody your ass? I mean, they can see it when you walking away, but don't put it in the F-form, you know? But yeah, Toya, you were absolutely right. Them strippers with some skinny little nothings, and they definitely didn't have all of the dragging you wagging back then. Okay, they didn't have all of that. So yeah, Eugene ain't really, that interested in them strippers versus what he got at home. That was just for fun. Heavenly and Damon seem to come down separately, which draws attention to the fact that he must be in the doghouse and got in trouble for his activities at the strip club the night before. Everybody messing with him, talking about, oh, we heard Damon had him a good time last night. And Heavenly is just sitting up there like, I just don't want no stripper around my man. Like, I just don't want no other woman's behind in my man's face. Like, that's it. And I understand, but I don't understand. It's not a big deal for me. By all means, invite me when you go. Okay, I'm mad if I'm not invited. Like, that's my thing. In all honesty, I felt played that he didn't want to go to the strip club with me for his bachelor party. But I was like, fine, go be with your friends. I'm your friend. On the bus, Cecil tried to take responsibility and say that Damon really didn't want to go to the strip club. He wanted to go home because Heavenly wanted him home at a certain time. And we like, Cecil, please save your breath. We know it's a lie. They just gonna play the video back to Damon saying he was excited and got a little second win. Now he see they about to go watch some women take their clothes off. So they visit a foundation. This is the episode when they go and do something out in the community. Whenever they take a vacation, they go out and they help in the community. And I really appreciate this depiction of all of these Black doctors going to Mexico to help and to give, and they do it every year. And I love Married to Medicine and all of the people that participate. They buy things, they bring things, they give people checkups. Jackie was talking to the young women about protecting themselves from the one-eyed monster because it can kill you, give you a baby, give you a disease, everything. So run from the big-eyed monster. But we talked about pregnancy prevention and, just checked out some of the kids. It was very, very nice, and I just love seeing it, okay? So after they go on the beach to play some games, Simone is so loud. I'm not even going to do that to y'all on my microphone, okay? Quad comes down to the beach in jeans, and Toya's like, oh, was she doing that so she don't be showing the men her ass? Oh, and I'm like, first of all, Quad, we've already seen it. You coming downstairs in jeans to the beach only made us sweat. I felt hot looking at you, okay? So everyone has to do these little games. And one of the first games was you got to put this little pack on your waist. The women had to put a pack on their waist with balls in a little box, and then they had to shake in order to get the balls out the box. Y'all, I think I would have won this. Like the New Orleans girls in me know how to shake that, shake that, shake that, shake that, shake that. You all know how to start and do the hip-hop. Contessa and Scott finally get to win something over Damon and Heavenly. Y'all didn't know what would happen. Heavenly just at some point was just like, get it off me. Look, the shake wasn't where it was supposed to be no more, y'all. Then they do a game where they wife swap. And the most uncomfortable coupling was Mariah and Damon being together. Seeing as though Mariah has put it out there that Damon is a cheater. And he did not like that, okay? He thinks that it was some messy stuff for Simone to put them together. And Heavenly was like, yeah, it was messy. That's what she do. She is messy. That's what she do. They put Cecil and Heavenly together, okay? And y'all know they have their issues because of the back and forth on social media. And Heavenly feeling like Cecil needs to stay out of women's business. Damon and Mariah ended up winning. I think they cheated. They had to hold a ball in between their backs as they ran, and they were kind of holding it in the arm, but anyway, we let them win. They won. Quad and Aiden were partners, which was also very uncomfortable. And then after the fact, Mariah and Quad were like joking about Quad serving Aiden food and all of this. And, would you need something else? Because that was her partner. So that's why she was serving him. Because then all the other wives was like, can you get my husband something to eat too? Y'all be sitting up there worried about, somebody gonna come steal your man. Nah, come help me with this nigga. Do something for him so I can go sit down. Shit. Eugene tells Damon, as they're all sitting having separate conversations, after you leave the strip club, if you just go home and put that thing on your wife, she ain't too much worried about nothing and everybody's satisfied. Okay, so now Damon knows the next time he go to the strip club, come back home in enough time to dick heavenly down and she'll be all right. I was dying laughing at that conversation. Contessa went to a swinger club, y'all. She let everybody know that she went to a strip club thinking it was a strip club, but really it was a swingers club. And Heavenly said, girl, you knew that was a swingers club. You got to pay to get in there. I don't want to hear that. Then she said she didn't leave immediately. Whatever guy she was dating at the time, she felt like he was trying to test her. And Dr. Scott did not like her talking about that. Not even in the confessional. He was very uncomfortable and was like, you need to shut up. Okay, I was like, oh no, not you need to shut up. Child, there's a loose link in arm. So then they have a Day of the Dead party, which was really cool. And some of the men didn't want to put on the makeup, and that just really annoyed me because I thought that the face paintings that they did were really cool, and the men that did wear them, I thought they looked great. So when some of the men didn't want to wear it, I was just like, oh, you can party poopers. Quiet came in as the dead bride, and Mariah was like more like the bride of Chucky, and I'm just like, why you gotta keep shading this lady? like it's just the shade never ends towards Quad. And I just don't understand why. But I guess that's all she got to offer is these little quips that she has in the confessionals. Because God knows she ain't got nothing going on throughout the season. So at this dinner, Simone, who has for some reason never been able to vocalize through letter her emotions for her husband, has finally decided to write something after all of these years of leaving Cecil hanging. Has finally decided to put together her thanks and appreciation for him in written form. And he says it was so worth it. And I kind of felt like it was lackluster. I said, girl, you could have read a poetry book, listened to an Erykah Badu, Jill Scott album, got some inspiration. But yeah, I guess it was sweet. As long as he was happy with it. I think that if he's happy with it, that's all that matters. But I was definitely like, that's the best you could do? Oh, okay. I guess, A for effort, okay? And then everybody has to go around the table and say something that they're leaving on the island and something that they want to take home with them. And Buffy goes first. She wants to leave petty behind and take empathy. Jackie wants to leave toxic friendships and take home authentic friendships, okay? And Simone was like, I think that Buffy needs to just leave this new Dr. Jackie alone. I said we all do before she start beating the hell out of people in the way we never expected, okay? Like something tells me that she be about 2 feet away from chin checking somebody. She got the shoulder power for it. She works out. Heavenly wants to leave strip clubs in Mexico and she forgives Dr. Damon. I said if y'all wasn't going home to Atlanta, that might be feasible. Back in Atlanta, Quad meets with her lawyer to sign her settlement because her divorce with Dr. Gregory is about to be finalized. He still hasn't done his taxes. Apparently, when they were married, she did everything. So now that he has to do it for himself, it's not getting done. So the lawyer tells her they're going to have to file separately. But she signs the settlement paperwork, and once the lawyer leaves, has this moment of reflection over the past, few years since 2012, 13 or whatever, I guess when they first got on the show. And ultimately, the relationship was toxic. It had gotten physical on numerous occasions, and it was just time for it to be over. I feel like she thought being with a man who could provide for her would be enough. But once getting on this show, I think she fully realized how much she wanted to have her own and how much she wanted to be able to have her own thing to be proud of and not just somebody's wife. So I just think that Quad didn't really know herself when she married Dr. Gregory. And that happens, especially when we get married young or when we, get married for the wrong reasons. I'm not saying that she never loved him, but I do feel like her main reason for marrying him was the stability and support and comfort in which he was able to provide her. But something never felt like it was sexual. It never felt like you was turned on. It never felt like you was really hot tamale for Dr. Gregory. Sorry, it just don't look that way. It looked like my friends got, doctor husbands. I'm going to get me a doctor husband. That's what it felt like. So y'all, Jackie is rushing to meet Curtis at the design store because they're going through the renovations for the house. And when she gets there, he tells her that he's starting to get worried again that she's going to become busy like she did last time, which caused the infidelity in their marriage, okay? Of course, not completely. Men, you have control of yourself. But Dr. Jackie does work a lot, and she likes to focus on everything but the house. Jackie is not somebody that's going to sit in the house and chill with Curtis all day. You know what I'm saying? And I think that at some point, she needs to start realizing that having Curtis involved in your business ventures is not the same thing as spending time with your husband. It's not the same thing, because he is in the capacity of an assistant. He is in the capacity of, let me champion Jackie. Let me make Jackie feel great. Let me support Jackie. And what he's looking for is for you to give him that. But because he's not the one with the business things going on, he doesn't have any business ventures popping right now for you to support, he has to constantly be there to support you. And you feel like that's enough because that's feeding you. But that's not really feeding him as it pertains to a man wanting to feel loved, appreciated, and wanted and paid attention to by his wife. So for Dr. Jackie to be surprised that he felt that way, I was like, well, where you been, Dr. Jackie? Where you been? You got to know that turning your husband into an assistant is not going to make him feel like you're really worried about spending time with him. More than, let me get this nigga something to do because he's sitting his ass at the house doing nothing anyway. Y'all, Contessa and Scott go to therapy, but they didn't really go nowhere. It was at the house. But before the therapist comes to the house, they talk about the trip. And Scott thinks the trip was fine, okay? Regardless of them getting into it, at that table, he feels like everything has been fine. She doesn't feel that way. She feels like he ignores problems because he doesn't want to deal with it. It's uncomfortable. And I can see that. She said Dr. Scott got selective memory. I said, I don't think it's that he has selective memory. I think you took that conversation harder than he did, okay? But also I can see him not wanting to deal with things. But I feel like Contessa also has that issue. You mad at him for something that you do too. So their therapist shows up for therapy at their house, and they discuss school and how her quitting school has affected them. Scott says, just go back and then the kids will suffer again. And I said, nah, you wrong for that, Dr. Scott. I have, for the most part, tried to be understanding. My husband is in school right now, and he works really early hours. Like, he just left to go to work, and it's like, 12 o'clock, midnight, 12:30 in the morning. 12:34 a.m. right now as I'm recording this video, and he just left to go to work. And when he comes home, I'll probably be sleeping. I'll wake up and then he'll be sleeping, so he has to go to school, and then he come home for an hour or two and he got to go to work right after that. So I do understand how it can become lonely, and especially if you have children, it can become stressful. He's not even out of the house, but him and I missing each other or not having time where we're spending together will obviously put a strain on our relationship. So when I look at what's going on with Contessa and Dr. Scott, I feel like I understand where he's coming from. Anytime you are changing the dynamic of the household in some way, it is going to be stressful. But the problem with them is not being able to separate Scott's issues from the kids' issues, okay? And then we notice that Scott kind of sort of lets the kids know how stressful this is for him, and makes little comments about how, we wouldn't want to go to Nashville. And this is what Contessa was talking about. You're not making an active active effort in order to bring my kids to me, or hell, even bring yourself to me in order to help the situation. You just upset that it's happening. So yeah, you're going to do what you have to do as a father, but when I get home, you got an attitude, but then you don't want to deal with it. So you do this passive aggressive shit. And she doesn't want to cause any more issues, so she doesn't want to have a conversation. Meanwhile, building up all this anger, hurt, and resentment towards him. Y'all got to talk. Y'all have got to have an honest conversation to where Scott is not worried about pissing her off and she's not worried about pissing him off. It seems that they can't have a conversation that either doesn't throw slugs, kind of come off too harsh, or they're not discussing it at all. So it's either one extreme or the other. And I think they need to find a happy medium to where they can calmly and while being sensitive to each other's feelings, express how they feel. Dr. Contessa needs to say, I feel like you make it even harder by not making an extra effort to bring the kids to me. Be more specific with what you need from him so that he can understand what he needs to do. Because once you've said, this is what I need you to do, and then he just doesn't do it, then he can't say that he didn't do anything wrong, okay? But Dr. Contessa said to the doctor she feels that he turns the kids against her, basically. Makes the kids think that her going to this school in Nashville isn't that important. So it's like, oh, you're leaving your kids destitute so you can do something that you really don't need to do, because everybody feels like she could have went to a school in Atlanta instead of going all the way to Nashville. I kind of agree with that. Like, at the end of the day, Dr. Contessa, you do have small children. It's not like they're teenagers, and they do have a certain sensitivity to your absence, of course. I mean, I feel like I would have been distraught if my mom wasn't around. I would have got over it, but it would have been hard. I would have missed her. Like, being in a house with just me and my daddy without my mama could have been stressful sometimes, because my daddy was the disciplinarian. He wasn't the nurturer, not like that. So when she wasn't around, there was an absence of emotional support. And I think that that's what's going on in their household. Dr. Scott is probably not the most emotionally supportive, but he's the man. And sometimes they don't have that to give. They don't know how. Okay? And she's the mom, so she has that to give, but she's expecting him to step into her shoes and his while she's gone. And that's hard for him. But instead of him handling it and having a conversation and making an effort for her to have her kids and all of that, and maybe going to Nashville over the weekend, instead of him taking the extra effort, he passive aggressively just stays at home and takes care of the kids, and that's his way of showing her that he pissed without actually having to have a conversation with her. Okay? But I don't think he's trying to turn his kids against her, but I do think that he tells the kids things that makes them realize that this is more of a stressful situation than they might actually be paying attention to in the moment. They kids. Okay, so when daddy is showing you that he doesn't like something, it brings it to your attention even more. And then whatever you're feeling is then made to feel worse, because now it's not just you, but daddy feels that way too. So I do understand where Dr. Contessa is coming from. I totally get where she's coming from. And Scott needs to take responsibility for the fact that he is sabotaging her efforts to get her education. But she also needs to take inventory of what she wants in her life, because these children gonna grow up and be teenagers in a quick fast second. So is it more important to go to a certain school or just to get it done at a good school in Atlanta? May not be as good as a school in Nashville, but it would suffice, wouldn't it? I mean, you still are a great doctor with all of this experience and, in the military and all of that. Dr. Contessa can do anything she sets her mind to. And I don't think a specific school will stop Dr. Contessa from doing what she wants to do with her career. But I also feel like you need to have some sensitivity to the fact that this is not easy for those kids, regardless of what Dr. Scott tells them. Your daughter was feeling some type of way anyway, because you're not there. Not because Dr. Scott said, oh, y'all look around, mommy not here. No, they already know you're not. So they already feeling some type of way. I just think he might have made it a little bit worse. But yeah, that's a tough situation, and they not past it, and I guess they still working on it, but they got to learn how to have conversations, that are less volatile. Because even the conversation they had at the table with everybody else was like kind of passive aggressive, volatile towards one another. And, she getting up and storming off, but then don't want to have a conversation with him, and then they just act like it never happened. That could never happen over here. My insides can't take that type of shit. I gotta get it off my chest. We gotta talk. We gotta resolve this shit. Because if it's not resolved, I'm not saying shit. I'm upset until you realize who wrong. And normally it ain't me. I'm just saying. I be trying to be understanding. I'm a person that can say they sorry. I don't know where y'all get this from. The Geminis can't say they sorry. I am not that. Okay, I will very much come and apologize if I feel like I'm out of line or I'm wrong. I never want to make anybody feel any type of way, and I damn sure don't want to beat my husband down for, doing whatever he feels like he needs to do in his career. I'm supposed to be supportive of that, and I'm going to do my best to do that. But at the same time, you have to now make the extra effort to work on your marriage now that your time is now being taken up more. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with Dr. Scott and Dr. Contessa. Child, I understand their situation more than they know right now. All right. But yeah, y'all, that was Married to Medicine, a little bit too much of my business. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. I love y'all. See y'all in the next one. Bye.